Sin doesn't look like it's really bad though. You see fornication. Sometimes it looks like it's God just trying to disturb us. Why can't somebody have fun? Am I not a grown-up? Can't I do what I like? But when you are with HIV or with syphilis or with this, you just have a small fruit, or the sin has finally started delivering fruit. Or you say, okay, let's do what we want. No moral boundary. From fornication, you finally marry the same guy. And now that you're married to him, he has 2 more of you. Do you know, like taking somebody's wife or somebody's husband? Let's assume this lady is this man's, and this one comes, takes him. She might think, what are they doing? We're in love. He is not good for him. Nobody should disturb me. It doesn't look that bad. It looks like God is not disturbing you. God is to the herself. Can't he just adjust more? No problem. Most of the time you notice that God doesn't do anything. Have you noticed? Then one day, he has left his wife. He has finally married you. But if he could leave his wife for you, why should he stay for only you? So he gets 3 others. When he now gets 3 others, you now see how wicked it is. You start trouble. You start fighting. But he can't listen to that thing because that's what you did. You are reaping what you sowed. And he abandons you again like he abandoned her. And is hooked up to the next one, promising that one heaven and earth. And if that one is stupid, he will believe him again. At that moment, your world is shattered. You have not even reached the full harvest. Because at that moment is where God allows the fruit to separate between the tares and the wheat for you to now have opportunity. This is the last chance for repentance. Some people will take the bait and repent and really feel sorry. They will go find this woman, do restitution, apologize. Some will not take it. They get worse. They look for another, maybe another. That's when God will now make up his mind to deliver to you. That time it might be death by accident. It might be death with cancer. It might be something that nobody can pray out. Before the main judgment is delivered, it's like what you're going to see in the last days. Shakings in nature, earthquakes and all that. No, they are signs. That's not the main and final judgment. Eternal judgment will happen and it will be final and people will be sent to hell. But these ones are the last set of warnings. After you have heard preachers, you didn't listen. If you notice what God told Abraham finally happened, it was Joshua that led the armies of Israel to come and wipe out those nations. And in those days, you can pray all you like. There is nobody like you going to listen. Everybody died. For the iniquity of the Amorites is not yet fulfilled. So God said to me, you see these boys? As you watch your pastor, anything you're doing, just know that it's not just the people you're dealing with. Other people are watching them. And it's not just them. The congregation is watching. There's one you will do. You will be the one they will perceive as a wicked pastor. See what he did. Moses asked for instant judgment. 250 pastors were buried by the earth. After they got buried, the whole congregation rose up in one accord and marched to Moses and said, you have killed the Lord's people. These are the rebels. But the instant judgment made Moses look like the bad. They came for Moses, and God sent another plague. People started dying. Because at that moment they cried out and God had to do something to separate the living from the dead. He told the priest to intervene to save, if not almost a whole nation, almost. When after Moses had learned that, anytime God gets angry and wants to act fast, Moses is the one that will now calm him down. You say you want to wipe them out? Yes, God is angry. They made a golden calf. He said the Egyptians will hear it. They are the ones you defeated at the Red Sea. They will hear it. They said, see, even their God saw the giants and they got frightened. He killed all of them in the bush. He is not able to defeat the giant. That's why he found an excuse. There are some things that happen to believers. The unbelievers are confused. That's why there are sometimes, even when we know that this brother is misbehaving, we say, ask God, please, for your holy name's sake. The people out there will not understand. What they will say, is that not the church boy? Why did he die like that? That means their God can't even say, why should we not go and get Odeshi? Can't you see that their God can't even help them? Sometimes judgment now overturns global perception of God. Messes up what God is trying to build. He wants the world to know him as a good person, as a loving person, as a kind person, as a forbearing person. These are his character. But he also wants to be known as somebody that judges, the God of justice. So justice has to be administered wisely. Ladies and gentlemen, this is why nations that want to operate by the rule of law, there is a process to executing justice. You don't do jungle justice. If you start doing jungle justice, sometimes you kill good people. You come into a community, they say, this widow is a witch. She killed her husband. Death. This one is a witch. She death. You will see that out of the many deaths, sometimes 50%, maybe 70% are innocent people. Because what you now be seeing is where people hate another person, they frame them and shout in the society. Do you know that they were chasing an armed robber who stole? And people were carrying stick to kill the armed robber, this jungle justice. As the guy was running, somewhere something came to his mind. Do you know what he did? He turned and started chasing the person that was chasing him. And started shouting, ole, ole, ole. You know how people come out, joining. People saw him chasing the guy. They joined him and started chasing. And the guy was running and shouting that he is the armed robber. They caught up with him, put tire on him and set him on fire. As he was burning and all of that, some policemen came. He has already burned. And some other people that was with him at the beginning knew that he wasn't the person. They put hands to rescue him. And then they started chasing again the real guy, which had some of his boys had escaped. They caught one of them. That's how this guy was then finally carried to hospital. When this mob thing is going on, people don't think, oh. They don't. See what Moses told God. For mischief did he bring them out. That's what the Egyptians will say. To slay them in the mountain. You see, all that fear they got for you when you divided the Red Sea will just vanish. They will now say, okay, this God. Now why you? God. To consume them from the face of the earth. Moses now said to God, turn from your fierce anger and repent of this evil against your people. And God calmed down. Later, God commended Moses for being the one that calmed him down. Because he promised Moses, I'll wipe them out and start a new nation for you. When God makes you such promise, don't take it home. If Moses had taken the bet, did you see what he did with him the day he struck the rock 2 times? That time it would have been different. He will remember, so you are the one that let me destroy my covenant people. The promise I made to Abraham, you are the man. And now you messed up here. Because you think you will mess up, you too. God ever discusses anger, whatever, with his children or with his servants, you better understand intercession and calm him down. Remind him of his covenant. Later, when he has calmed down, he will reward you for it. You know, anger will finally calm down. Reason will come up again. So I told you to do, you did it. When God was destroying Babylon, that's what he said. You can go and read it. When he was angry with Israel, Judah, he gave them permission to come and deal with them. They burned down the temple, did all that. When his anger calmed down, he looked at his holy city, temple destroyed, his people scattered. He now sent Jeremiah. He said, pronounce judgment on Babylon and list 7 things that I will do to them for what they did to my people. But you are the one that gave them the permission to come and do it. Today, that we have cancer, we have wickedness, we have rape, we have terrorism. People now understand what evil is. So you see, this eternal judgment that is coming, when God will judge, put a group of people in hell. Those of you that will be in heaven will not be there accusing him. Those in hell will not be there accusing him. They will know that what they did is evil. And God will be exalted in righteousness. That's what the Bible said. If not, the ones who will be in heaven will be saying, can you imagine? Just because I slept with 2 girls, that's why he put me here. And Lucifer that have killed 100 people. Look at, he's here. Me, my own is just 2 girls. So we are all here. What did I do to deserve this place? No, that's not what is happening in hell. Everybody in hell knows that they deserve. They're all crying for a second chance. We have reached that point where God's people must ask God to separate between the tares and the wheat. God told them, leave the two till harvest time. Separate the tares from the wheat by judging the wicked. There are 2 types of judgment that we're going to see. There is remedial judgment that will happen. The purpose of remedial judgment is to still save some people that can be saved. There are some good people caught up in evil. So remedial judgment is corrective in nature. That will separate them. They will later join good people and start fighting evil. Then there's the other type of judgment, which is destructive in nature. We have to ask God to intervene with an outstretched arm to judge. And he should do it. You need to know that if God does it with eyes closed, some good people will die. So he will not operate like that. Because there are certain people we need to build the future of this country. And some of them are trapped in some of the institutions you are talking about. But we're going to ask God to stretch forth his hand. I want between now and the Easter Sunday, the resurrection, let everybody carry this burden for your country. What will kidnapping be like if we leave the situation the way it is? What will armed robbery be like if we don't bring back righteousness and get this nation back in order? What will murder look like? What will tribal hatred look like? What will nepotism look like? And perchance, some of you who are a little more passionate, more emotional than others, you have to calm yourself down And you know, I'm not asking you to go and call people's names. Oh. But I need to show you something. I need to show you something. But I think this is a good place to leave it. Put up the book of Enoch, the chapter 3 on the fallen angels. When men began to multiply on the surface of the earth, the sons of God saw the daughters of men, and these angels came and slept with daughters of men and married some of them. Now, this is the first time angels are violating God's boundary of procreation. Angels don't marry. They are not allowed, not that they don't have sex. They don't have capacity to have sex. But they are not allowed to do that. Do you know why? God gave them the reason when he was judging the angel. He said, because you guys are immortal. Can you imagine you start allowing them to have children, do all kinds of things? There will be overpopulation, the kind of population problem we are going to have. You don't know that there is something balancing birth. It is death. This is why Jesus said, when we are resurrected and we are now immortal, we will be like angels, not marrying nor giving in marriage. There will be no more marriage then. If you want to marry, he's here. So God explained to them. That's why he put that limit on them. It's not that they don't have organs, that they can't do things. So he didn't even give them females. He didn't. The way he made Adam originally, that's how they are. But later he went to Adam and created a female because there was need for procreation here. So when they started sleeping with these women, there were giants in the earth in those days and after. It's the book of Enoch that explained to us how come they survived after the flood. I don't want to frighten you and tell you, but the book of Enoch revealed that some of those giants survived the flood. Even mentioned some of the names that did that. It might shock you guys, but it's truth. What happened is that when the flood started, they rushed that ark. And remember that these guys are half angels and half human. Some of them are supernatural beings themselves. The human beings died, animals died. Some of the giants even climbed on top of that ark. 40 days that rain fell, they survived it. When they finally landed back on the earth, they came back into the earth. And they started their generation again. Notice that they were there in those days and they were there also after the flood. If you read the book of Enoch, he explains to you, some of them survived it. And then they started marrying again, and then that's how the Canaanites populated the earth again. So God had to send Abraham and his descendants to come and wipe those remaining ones. It wasn't genocide. God was not killing human beings. He was killing a species of human being that he did not create. You see what I'm telling you? When evil has not reached its peak, people sometimes call the righteous judge the bad person. Do you know there are people who read about how the Jews wipe out all those nations with their women and their children? They wonder, what kind of God is this that commands his people to... If you read the war convention given to the children of Israel, they are the ones that brought this war convention. You can't touch women, you can't touch children, you can't touch fruit trees. They are banned from touching that. It's the Jewish people that introduced all these values, including thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not commit adultery. God Almighty was the one that gave it to them. But there is a particular race of people, he gave them a command, everything should be wiped out. They are called Nephilims. They are not normal human beings. They are a mutation of human gene and a gene of angels. Now, the time when they did this, they didn't see the full consequence of their action. The first consequence that showed up is that instead of normal children, when they slept with those women, the children were giants. The second thing that came out, if you read the book of Enoch, it said, and there were giants in those days. When they came to the daughters of men, they became mighty men. They were only warriors, mighty men, conquering causing violence. The whole earth was filled with violence. Read the next verse. God saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, that every imagination of the thought of his heart was only evil. These guys corrupted the whole earth. These same people. And then bloodshed. If you see, okay, show me the book of Enoch. Let me read it for them. Let them see. This is what will happen in a country like Nigeria. If you don't ask God to judge, days are coming, you won't want to come to your village. You are going to look for the nearest country to escape to. I know some of you, because some of the people might be from your tribe, might be from your area, you don't want anything to happen to them. I don't care. I don't care if the fallen angel is from my village. Judge him, God. I don't care if it's from my tribe. Lord, let your judgment come upon him. Because the wickedness will now prevail on the earth. Until God looked on the earth, it was only 6 people that are still pure. Noah, his wife, his 3 boys, and their wives. Pastor Glory, maybe today you guys will have the answer. I don't have the time to read it for you now. You have the answer to why these giants and the Nephilim continued after the flood. It wasn't Ham. It wasn't because of one of the sons of Noah probably married a Nephilim girl. No, it wasn't. A few of them survived. It came to pass when the children of men began to multiply in the earth in those days, there were born to them beautiful daughters. The angels, the children of heaven, saw the daughters of men, that they were beautiful. They lusted after them. And they said, let's choose wives from among the children of men and have children. It doesn't look like it was a big sin. It doesn't look like it. After the rapture now, when you and I are in glorified stage, somebody can come up one day. Some of these sisters are final. Are we just going to be in heaven and nothing to connect? What if, because of how this has been allowed to reach its peak and has been judged, nobody will try it then. Because you know what will happen to you. You judge it too early, they think you that did the judgment, you are the wicked person. You know how long it took for these giants to grow from being babies to now full, and then they started manifesting. The whole earth was taught, the peaceful earth. Rape, all the evil you know today, they introduced it. People were crying. The blood of men they were killing were going to the heavens. Anyway, let me read for you what now happened, how God intervened. That's the next chapter, chapter 4. Watch. These are the good angels. Watch. And then Michael and Gabriel and Raphael, the angels of God, saw much blood being shed on the earth. I want you to watch. And how immorality is being wrought all over the earth. Because that's what these people introduce. And they said to one another, the earth be made without her inhabitants. They are killing people. They cry. The voice of those dead people cried up to the gates of heaven. So it's not only the blood of Abel that cried to heaven. As they were killing people, innocent people that their blood was rising, their soul were rising to the gate of heaven, crying for justice. Now watch. Now to you, the holy ones of heaven, the souls of men, cry, saying, bring our cause before the Most High. I know some of you think they don't pray in heaven. You are wrong. Depends on how you look at prayer. In all eternity, there will be prayer because it's communication. So just like you have it in all relationships, you have it in your marriage. You ask your wife to do this for you. That's how it must be everywhere. It's not only worship that you have in heaven. There won't be some problems like demons and all that, but there are other things. Now watch. And then these angels now went to the Most High And this is what I want to. The reason I read this is to show you the protocol. Just because things are wrong, they are snatching ballot boxes, they are killing people, doesn't mean you just walk carelessly to God. If you want to be heard, observe the protocol of the court of heaven. Start by, hallowed be your name. Honor God. Bless him. Worship him. Find some good things that are going on and thank him for it. Don't just walk in with complaint. You don't go to court and disrespect the judge. It's contempt. They can jail you there, even though you may be an observer in the court. Now watch. So these angels, notice that they did not take laws into their hand. They saw all the things, and God is not doing anything. Ladies and gentlemen, you don't have because you don't ask. Now, they said, this is how they made it. They said, now to you, the Holy One of it. Okay, the angels gingered up themselves and they went to the Lord and they said, Lord of the ages. Look at the words they used to address him. Number one is Lord of the ages, Lord of lords, God of gods. This is the third one. King of kings. This is the fourth one. The God of all ages. This is the fifth one. The throne of your glory standeth unto all generations. These are angels talking to the Almighty God. Your name is holy and glorious and blessed unto all ages. Thou hast made all things. Power over all things only you have. All things are naked and open in your sight. They were telling God, we are not coming to give you information. You already know because you know everything that is happening. Thou seest all things and nothing can hide itself from thee. So after acknowledging, this is what you do in worship. They now said, you have seen what Azazel, that's the leader of the angel, Azazel is his name, had done, who has taught all types of unrighteousness on the earth and revealed the eternal secrets which are in heaven to men, which men are not supposed to know. They also introduced witchcraft and all these things, these angels, to those same women and their children. You've seen they have gone to the daughters of men upon the earth and have slept with women and have defied themselves and revealed to them all kinds of sin. And the women having borne giants, and the whole earth is thereby filled with blood and unrighteousness. Now, behold, the souls of those that have died are crying out to the gates of heaven, and their lamentations have ascended and cannot cease because of the lawless deeds which are wrought on the earth. You see how Nigerians are crying? You take it and come before God and bring some cases and bring the case. See. This is court of heaven. Now watch. The souls of those that have died are crying, and their cry has reached the gates of heaven. They are making lamentation. Their lamentations have ascended, and they will not cease because of the lawless deeds that are wrought on the earth. Thou knowest all things before they come to pass. Thou hast seen all these things. And you have not said to us what we are to do to them in regard to this. So even in heaven, even when the angels see things going wrong, they don't take laws into their hand. They're asking God, what kind of intervention do you want? What they did not know is that God has planned a flood, a deluge that will wipe out all of these guys plus all the wickedness on the earth. Anyway, gentlemen, I just want to read this part. God now gave instructions. And the Most High, the Holy and the Great One spoke. he sent angel Uriel to the son of Lamech. The father of Noah is Lamech, to the son of Lamech called Noah. He said, go to Noah, tell him in my name to hide himself, teach him that the end of all things is approaching and the whole world will be destroyed by flood. Then show him how to build an ark, teach him how to do it so that he and his seed may escape. This is angel Uriel. And this particular angel is one in charge of revelation in the whole heaven. He is the angel in charge of wisdom and revelation. Gabriel is minister of information. Michael is war. Raphael is the angel that deals with deliverance and demons and healing. You see these healing services? There are millions of angels that are involved in it, but the commander is Raphael. There are 7 archangels, so not 3. Let them not tell you that. Now watch. And again, the Lord said to Raphael, go and bind Azazel. You see all those angels, First Peter and Jude mentioned that they were bound and put down in Tartarus, in hell. It is Raphael that was told to bind Azazel hand and foot, cast him into darkness, make an opening in the desert, which is in Dedel, and cast him there, and place upon him rough and jagged stones, cover him with darkness, let him abide there forever, and cover his face that he may not see light on the day of the great judgment. So he will be there till the time of judgment. The day of the great judgment, he will be cast into the fire. And then his job is heal the earth which the angels have corrupted. Proclaim healing of the earth that they may heal the plague and all the children of men may not perish through all the secret things that the watchers have disclosed. Anyway, Gabriel, lose the mandate of Gabriel. To Gabriel, the Lord said, proceed against the bastards and the reprobate. These are the Nephilims. What is Gabriel's job? Start war among them. So read, if you read both biblical record and human history, these men became warriors. They were fighting again. They used to cooperate. But one of them went and kidnapped the wife of the other. This is how the war started. But in the spirit, it was Gabriel that was steering it. This is what the book of Enoch was given. How did the war start among the war of the giants? One of them went to the ones he has was not enough. He saw another angel that has a beautiful. He went to kidnap his wife. All of a sudden, the whole place scattered. They started fighting, killing each other. These are the Nephilims I'm talking about. Killing each other. The Nephilims started war, killing until they wiped out most of their races. Because human beings can't fight them.